Hey, what's up, Vox and Hops heads? I'm Matt, the vocals of Cryptopsy, and you're listening to my podcast, Vox and Hops, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians to talk about their lives, music, and craft beer. I hope that you've had a great week. I have had a great week. I had an excellent time last night at the Vox and Hops Thirsty Thursday virtual hang. I love these. We were so many people. It just keeps growing week after week. There are more and more of you. I love it. Keep spreading the word. Let's hang out together. Let's spread some positivity. Let's spread some love. Let's enjoy local craft beers together. This is happening again next Thursday. I put the link in the description of this podcast, and I highly suggest that you share it with your friends and that you come hang out with me again, because I love it. On today's episode, I'm with Øystein Brun of Borknagar. Here it is, Vox and Hops, episode number 140.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I'm with Øystein Brun from Borknagar. I am super stoked to be with you, although a bit disappointed that we're not together in the flesh. We are communicating via the web. We were supposed to hang out together when you came through Montreal on Devastation On The Nation, because I'm one of the official sponsors of Devastation On The Nation. And as with everything in the world right now, everything's just fucked up and crazy, so every tour has been canceled. So here we are. How are you? Let's touch on that right to start. What was your mindset when Trump put the travel ban down?
I mean, it was it's pretty chaotic, I think, and it's almost like different phases. I mean, I remember that week everything was kind of starting to fall apart. I mean, I kind of have a day job in the health business, so I kind of had some meetings with some in the commune and stuff. And I've been doing this since I was 19 or something like that. So I kind of knew what was between the lines, so to speak. I had a bad feeling about things, even though things wasn't official yet and stuff like that. So, but I was worried. So I was kind of, because I'm an authorized health worker, so to speak, in Norway. I got some signals from my boss again that it might happen that you will be banned to leave because we need you here and stuff like that. So I was kind of, egoistic way, kind of considering just fleeing off to Oslo or something like that the weekend before, just to be on the safe side, in case my employee said that, hey, you have to stay home, kind of thing. So but then everything happened so fast. I remember I think it was night to Thursday, at least Norwegian time. I got a message from our manager in the US, Ruben. I think he just wrote something like, it's fucked. It's all, and he sent a link to some CNN or some news from the night. Of course, I've been sleeping and stuff, and there was kind of clearly written that Trump shut down all flights and stuff like that. So, and from there it was like it's almost like I don't remember everything, because it was pretty chaotic. I mean, messages, mails all the time, so it was chaotic, and nobody knew what should we do. I mean, it was kind of stunning in a not in a good way, but in a bad way though. So just got a little bit numb, and what the fuck, we have spent so much time, one thing is rehearsing, one thing is, being mentally ready for this and looking really forward, because we all did so. I mean, we haven't done US now for, at least not a tour for, I guess it's 20 years. And we really, really look forward to doing this one. To let that sink in was tough, that the fact that, no, I'm staying home. I'm not going anywhere. That was kind of brutal. But at some point also I kind of felt that, all right, now the whole world is fucked. And I mean, I would better for me staying in the countryside in my studio here than being stuck somewhere in transit or in the US or, whatever. So I don't know. I still have kind of, it's weird times. It's weird times.
It's sort of a blessing in disguise that it happened that week and not the week after, because you would have been in the States and you would have already started that tour, and then you guys would have had to rush back home. It would have been totally fucked.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we have some friends. Mayhem guys was already in US, I think, and we also had a contact daily with our tour manager that at that time was on tour with in South America, though, I think, and Latin America with this Polish band Mangla, or I'm not sure how you
MGLA, right? Is that it? Yes.
I'm not sure how to say that, to be honest. I met the guys a few times, but still. Yeah,
that new record's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So I was getting some reports, from him that everything is pretty okay some days before, and what's going on in the airports and stuff. Now it's just to check some fevers and stuff. So just make sure you don't have any fever when you arrive to the US. It's like okay, but we kind of it went from. From kind of being, this is not moving in the right direction to a complete, total downfall of everything.
We have to give a huge shout out to Dan DeFonce, the man behind Devastation on the Nation, for acting so quickly and postponing it smartly a whole year. When I spoke with Wolfheart, they mentioned that their visas would expire a few days after that new postponed tour. I don't know if it's the same thing for you guys.
Yeah, that's the same thing for us. And that is such I gave him some really, it's amazing what Daniel did, and also Ruben. I mean, he's our direct contact in these matters, but those guys was able to save the day or save the year or save the tour, actually. I mean, it was just amazing how they was able to find solution on that thing. And the same thing for us, of course. So we got 1 year work visa in the US, which is like from 19th of this year, 19th of March this year till 19th of March next year. So that saved us a lot of money, because that's expensive, man. I mean, we had to go to the embassy in the US, in Oslo, and also we had, hire lawyers in the US and things like that. So I guess we spent like 5,000-6,000 euros or dollars, something like that, on all, the whole process of just the visas. So being able to save that's a good thing for us, of course. Really good. So it's amazing what the guys was able to quickly pull off and just move the whole thing a year, and that's amazing. So and that doesn't, it makes it easier to live with this whole situation, because we know that, in like 10 months now or something like that, we are kind of starting to go back rehearsing and starting to mentally build up again to do this tour, because we really want to do it. So it will be cool.
You mentioned that you work in the health profession. Are you working now?
Yeah, kind of. I have always, the last 10 years or so, I'm just working sporadically, basically. I had back in 2000 and something, I got my bachelor degree. It's kind of an education, mixture, very Norwegian education though, mixture between a doctor, a psychiatrist, and a social worker kind of thing. So yeah, I actually that's a funny thing, because I'm quite busy right now. Also of work, I'm a kind of union kind of guy that kind of helps protecting employees and stuff, things like that. So I guess that's just me. Everything I do, I always do. I do a lot of, I'm kind of intense dude, I guess. So when I first do something, I do a lot of things. So yeah, I these days it's quite a lot of, those matters actually. But for the most part, actually, I'm sitting here in my studio mixing some music or whatever, and then I do some Skype meetings with with other things. So it's busy days though, but it's different, I would say.
Absolutely. Vox&Hops is all about hanging out with metal people to talk about their lives, their music, and craft beer.
Yeah.
What do you have on your side to drink with me today?
I kind of was thinking to just, kind of scoping in on Bergen and Bergen beer. And I actually have 3 different beers with me. One, the very classic that everybody in Bergen, my area, the west coast of, is drinking. And probably, for the most people in my area, that's the first beer you drink in Bergen. When when I was 16, 17 years old, or even before that, started to drink beer, that's Hansa beer. that's all over the place. That's is sold nationally and everything. But that's kind of the beer that Bergen is famous for, so to speak. I also brought another beer, which is brilliant. That's a smaller brewery, and it's pretty close to here, actually. And it's called Lysefjorden. This one is a pale ale, really, really good. I kind of, these days we should, support the local guys and the local business and stuff like that. So kind of that mentality behind it. These guys also did the Gorgoroth beer
cool.
here. Yeah, so I wasn't able to get hold of that one actually, because you have to go to the, that's the Gorgoroth beer is a little bit more alcohol in, so you can't buy it in normal stores in Norway. Then you have to go to the monopoly thing that, buy, kind of liquor store in Norway. But of course these days that's closed, so not able to get it. Really nice one. And then the third one actually is extremely local. That's a friend of mine actually these days, brewing some own basement brew. It's a blonde lager, handcrafted beer, and it's brewed like just a couple of houses down the street from me.
You can't get much more local than that. Yeah.
yeah. I just brought it for fun, but it's really nice. He does a good job. It tastes good. Good stuff. So yeah.
So which one are you going to choose? What are we going to drink?
I think I go for the Lysefjorden beer.
Yes. Support local craft beer. I keep saying it on every episode. We don't want local craft beer breweries to be a victim of COVID-19. You mentioned that your liquor store is closed. See, here in Canada and the States, they've made liquor an essential service. So they didn't do that in Norway.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm entirely right on this, but I'm not sure if it's entirely closed though. But it's very limited these days, and especially now with the holidays and everything. So it's kind of difficult because, in Norway the whole thing with selling alcohol is extremely strict. I mean, the normal stores can sell regular beer like till 8 o'clock in the evenings. In the weekends till 6 o'clock in the evening, that's it. And then you have the kind of liquor store thing that you have in Norway, kind of monopoly thing that is kind of regulated by the state and stuff like that. Everything that is stronger than beer, you have to buy there, like wine, red wine, and whiskey, of course, and all that stuff. And those things, those is kind of it's closing like 4 o'clock or something like that each and every day. And it's also, the day before holidays, they're not allowed to be open and stuff like that. So it's kind of, it's complicated in Norway. It's a lot of moralism, so to speak, I would say, though.
It's to keep you guys safe.
Yeah, we have some stupid rules in Norway, kind of thing. Yeah, probably. I don't know. It's a lot of dangers out there, and whatever. But it kind of, in general, I hate moralism. And in Norway, it's like they have an idea that if you kind of limit the sale of the beer, people drink less and stuff like that. It's kind of, I don't know, and sometimes frustrating because sometimes you just want to go and grab some beer, all of a sudden, but you can't do that in Norway. When I was a kid, my father actually had to go to the local store and he had to order beer, and then he get it the day after. So I remember when I was a kid, he had to go to the local store, and the Tuesday before, if he wanted beer on Saturday, he had to book the beer all the way on Thursday. And then kind of the limit or the deadline was something like 5 PM or something. If you didn't book it by then, you had no beer.
It's like you have to plan your hangovers. On my side, I'm drinking St-Houblon. This is their New England IPA, Mango Suave. It is a New England IPA with mango in it. This is brand new. They are a craft beer brewery up here in Montreal, in Quebec, that have just started canning their brews. I am very happy that they sent me some of these to share with my guests, but sadly we can't share it together. So let's crack these open and let's see what they got.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Pours out nice and hazy.
Is it sweet?
No, I think it will be, let's see.
Sour?
No, it's good. It's creamy, tropical, very mango juicy. Pineapple, apricot. This is really good. Yeah. Cheers to St-Houblon. This is 6.5%. Absolutely delicious. Why do you think it's taken Borknagar so long to come back to North America? It's a question that I since I found out it's been that long that you guys toured. Last time I think you guys came through the States was with Emperor. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I think you're pretty right. I mean, we did this Maryland Death Fest in last year, of course, but that's, the exception. 99 with Emperor, I think. June, July or something like that in 99, I think that what tour was. Reasons why, I mean, gets complicated. I mean, I have no single explanation for that. I think that, first and foremost, it's complicated for a, European band in general to go to the US. I mean, you have the visas issue, you have to flight tickets, it's expensive. It's more tricky. You have to be, I think that if you want to do a decent tour in the US, you have to be of a kind of a decent size also as a band. We did a tour back in 99 with Emperor. That was an awesome tour in so many ways, but it was really, what can I say, undergroundy stuff. I mean, driving around in vans and stuff like that, overnight drives. It was tough. I guess we're a little bit old for that now, but that's one reason, I guess. And another reason is the fact that, we have never been the most heavy touring band, I guess. I mean, I've always been a little bit selective on things. I just don't do things just to do things and stuff like that. That, there is some, money issue kind of thing. I mean, I don't want to lose too much money going live. We have been through a quite long period in our lives. I would say that all the members, we established, got married, got kids, things like that makes things more complicated, I guess, and of different reasons we haven't done it so far. So there is no one single reason for it really. But we've always, me and Simon especially, and Lars, we have been talking about it for ages because we both, have very good memories from the first tour we did. And also, Simon did a couple of tours with Dimmu Borgir when he was in that band. And, US for us, Scandinavian is really an, adventure in so many ways. So it's something that we wanted to do for a long time. But, we there is a lot of things. The money, it's the security and things, all that stuff. We have to find the right people to work with doing such a tour. Same with South America. You mean heading out on something like that, you need to know that you could trust people, the company working for you, whatever it is. So it's And again, we haven't really been the most heavy touring band for the last 15 years, I would say, but we have tried to do more of it the past couple of years.
I'm in the same mindset now. I'm a father of 2 young children, and in Cryptopsy we try to choose the right tours. Yeah, I don't want to go on tour for just the sake of being on tour to say that I'm on tour to sell some shirts and make some money. I want to be on the right tours that are good for the band, good for the brand, and bring everyone up.
Yeah, that's so true, man. And that was something, that's also, a very important reason for me, because I've always been, regards to my music as a composer, as an artist and everything, I've always been things has to feel right. I have to stand behind it. I just don't do things I've got so many offers to do all kinds of strange stuff through the years and, whatnot. But I just don't done it because it's not my style, just the fact that I've never used corpse paint. I've always used my real name. I've always had this philosophy that this band for me is something that I should always be able to stand behind. I mean, to me it's such a precious thing that I don't want to exploit it just to some quick money or whatever it is. I want to have a very conscious way of doing things in terms of both live studio albums and everything. So and it has to feel right. I kind of feel that I need to want to do it in a sense. And sometimes in periods of life, doing extensive touring, being in the US and stuff, it's not really, doable in when you have small kids, for example. When I got my daughter, she's 18 now, crazy stuff. She started to drink wine and stuff. It's like, wow. But anyway.
Where did all the wine go?
Yeah. But, when we bought our first house and we had to do a lot of repair and, all the stuff, I built my studio, spent a few years building my studio from ground up and stuff like that. So for me, it's also, I have to admit, I'm not just a musician. I'm more than, I've different, I do a lot of music. I spend a lot of time working music, writing music, doing interviews, whatever, everything regards that, of course. And we pretty much run everything ourselves. But, apart from that, I also, have my family, have my, interest, my hobbies, other things in life that I also want to cherish. And I think, to me, that is always a matter of finding a balance in life, because I think for my own sake, just speaking for myself, if I should do music all the time, 24/7, year in, year out, I think it wouldn't be too healthy for me. One thing is the alcohol, but the other thing is just go in circles. I mean, I need to get inspiration from the outside, from the normal life, from whatnot, things like that. I worked in the health business for many years, and sometimes a lot, sometimes much less. Like now, the last couple of years, just a few days a week, just to have something else to do from time to time, have a break from music. And it's kind of interesting because I has been working a lot with people with mental issues, for example. I've kind of seen the dark side of life, drug abuse and stuff like that, and it's really crazy, scenarios with people and issues that you can, beyond imagination, what people struggles with sometimes in terms of mental problems and abuses problems and whatnot. And that's also kind of interesting. That gives me, brings my life a little bit, I'm not saying that I put that kind of thing into my music. I don't do that, but it's a part of, who I am. And again, that's the part of what kind of music I do, basically.
And it brings you balance, too, because when you're an artist and you're out on the road, it tends to be a very self-absorbed experience where it's all about you, it's all about your band. And then when you go and you do work with your patients, it's a very altruistic, outside, taking care of other people experience. I have a similar thing because I take care of children when I'm not screaming for cryptopsy. So I need that balance for my own mental sake.
Exactly, and I think that's the same approach I have in life. I think I need to have my feet on different, grounds in life. I think I would be bored. I think I'm not sure if I would have still been doing music if I just did music when I was 25 years or 30 years old or something like that. I think I would at some point just burn out. Because the beauty of it really is that I'm able to focus a lot on music when needed and when I feel like doing that, like touring or writing a new album, producing a new album or whatever. I have my own professional studio now and do a lot of, not a lot, but some external productions as well, mixing, mastering and stuff like that. But sometimes, it's nice to do something completely different for a while. Just do something, to go on the mountain with some mentally ill people, for example, go fishing with people that just need somebody to be there, for example, kind of thing. And as you said, it's something also with the focus, because when in the music, you kind of look a lot into yourself. You kind of, do all this mental mapping. I do a lot of that before I write music. I'm planning on starting writing new music now when everything is kind of going slow. But I spend a lot of time just, finding the what can I say, the shapes, the colors of the music and stuff like that, to map out the music in a sense before I actually sit down and write riffs. So it's yeah. I've been doing this since I was a kid, basically. So I guess I found my way of doing it. So I try to find a balance.
We have a mutual friend that I want to give a shout out to. You have a sound man in Europe, Rob Sherrod.
Yeah. Oh man. Cheers for Rob.
Yes, absolutely. Cheers to Rob, who has been on the podcast before, and he's a great dude.
Yeah, he told me actually.
If you could, what do you think is going to happen? When are we going to be released back into the wild, back into the world? I've seen Hellfest has been canceled. I am imagining that all of the summer festivals are going to be canceled. What do you think about that?
we don't know, but I still we kind of know. We have I just recently talked with our agent in Europe, Doomstar, the guys in Doomstar, Benny.
Yeah, they're great.
And also, I mean, shout out to those guys as well. They're doing a fantastic job trying to deal with all this, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I'm kind of lucky. I'm just sitting here in my studio doing pretty much the same thing as I did, 2 months ago. I'm not in the US though, of course, but those guys is really having tough times these days. Really having tough times. I had some chatting with him last day, and we got the official information about Hellfest, and also it looks dark. I don't know. We have some. To be honest, what we hope now, we have a European tour starting in end of November headliner tour in Europe with Saur and Kanbad, I think it's called, or said. I mean, I just hope that that tour we will be able to pull off that tour. But, the festivals, we also have a run in Greece in September, August or something like that. Maybe, but, it's... Doesn't look good though, but fortunately it seems like, still have to see I guess, but it seems like we are able to maybe do a little bit the same thing we did with the Devastation of the Nation tour, just to move it a year. I mean, the whole package, just the whole building, everything, just pull on the brakes and add the one number to 2021 instead of 2020 kind of thing. Just, for the sake of simplicity, I don't know. But
just do that on all the tour shirts, just to hire someone to.
Just scratch off the 0 and 1 instead kind of thing. Yeah, so I guess we just have to see, but I have a feeling that at least seems like from here from Norway, it seems like it will be... at least the summer festival is probably gone, but hopefully something be able to pull off something in the autumn, September, or maybe.
You mentioned that you're going to write a new record, or you're focusing on writing a new record, mapping out the colors and the sounds and the shapes now. I challenge all artists right now to sit in their studios and to use this time creatively to bring more joy and more beauty and more music to the world all the time. So I'm glad that you're doing that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, it's the only way of dealing with this, I guess. And I mean, I kind of, I'm kind of guy that, shit happens in life, That's kind of life. But I've always tried to, when shit happens, I try to turn it over to something positive. And, I mean, it would be amazing to see a vital, not just us and, all bands, the whole music scene just blooming on the other end of this would be awesome to see. And I think that's something we might see, and I'm really looking forward to it, because I think it will explode on the other end of the tunnel with creativity and hopefully, in a sense, in a positive way, I hopefully some people will get a little bit of the fighting spirit back, in a sense. I mean, at least here in Norway, it's Norway is a rich country. A lot of people is kind of a little bit, numbed, because everybody has money enough for basically everything, and people doesn't fight for things anymore. And maybe that this is kind of a situation where we find a little bit back to this fighting spirit. I talked with some neighbors the other day, and kind of some older neighbors, of course, and they kind of was talking in the of course a Norwegian perspective though, but it is this feeling that the people had after the Second World War, when the war was over, and people out on the streets, and then celebration of we are a free country again, and they was kind of talking in the direction that maybe this is our generation's, end of the, apocalypse or war, or, whatever you want to call it, kind of thing.
You're 100% right. Everyone it feels a little bit hungrier. Everyone feels a bit more drive. Personally, I like staying in my house, so I don't mind that aspect of it. But there are things that I miss, and I hope that a lot of people use that energy in the right direction. And I'm seeing a lot of people are, so that's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of, at least, I would say history tells us so. I mean, in grave, situation like this, when I mean, there was a lot of people. I mean, I'm well off. I mean, I don't have any huge problem. Of course, it's sad I'm not in the US, but as you said, I pretty much live the same life as I did before all the whole thing. I sit in my studio, work on music, and I do some Skype calls, and I do some jobs from time to time. But my life, egoistic sense, hasn't changed much. Actually, I find it a little bit peaceful. I mean, it's quiet outside. There's not too much noise. I mean, it's like people is a little bit, it's in a sense a little bit. I kind of like it in a strange way.
I hope we keep some of that.
Yeah, because it's peaceful though. I mean, I still live in the countryside. So I'm not, having it's peaceful always here kind of thing, because I live out in the bush, so to speak. But when I go to town and everything, it's kind of it's you can just walk around in the town, and it's kind of just relaxed atmosphere, few people and all that. That's kind of cool, but of course strange as well. And but of course. Again, I mean, there is a lot of people these days in our business and other business that has a big problem these days, getting, the salaries, jobs, all that kind of. And so it's not a good thing, of course, but yeah, I guess we have to make the best out of it.
You guys must have had a bunch of merch printed.
Yeah.
So where can people go and buy that?
Yeah, we have, actually, we the official merchandiser we have in the US, Kings Road. They sell it off to on the page. So we have done some posts and stuff like that, and if people want to buy, and it's still, I mean, the dates are wrong and all that, but still it's kind of maybe a memory from these days. And of course it's highly limited shirts merchandise, because we won't do them again, of course. So and also we was a little bit of luck, because we have. The way we was thinking about merchandise sales and stuff like that, we was planning with Kings Road, and since they are kind of located in the US, we didn't need to print a huge batch on the first print, so to speak.
That's smart, because you were planning to get a restock.
Yeah, we was planning to restock during the way, so to speak, because they could deliver within a couple of days. So if we was like running out of merchandise, we could just call them and, hey, we need 500 more shirts of this and whatever.
Experience.
Yeah,
experience talks. Yeah,
yeah, I guess so. All those things, So yeah, we are definitely not. Of course, we have lost a lot of money. I mean, no doubt. I mean, I lose a lot of money. The guys in the band lose a lot of money on this. I'm not counting how much and all that, of course. But the US tour and then all the festivals and everything. I mean, it's shitload of money. But still, I mean, all of the band and all of the guys in the band is pretty okay anyway. I mean, we will survive definitely. It will be tough times, but we'll get through.
Øystein, thank you so much for coming, drinking a craft beer with me.
Same to you, man.
Having a chat. This was really cool, and when Devastation On The Nation happens in 2021, we're going to drink a beer together and have another one.
Oh yeah, and tries and more. Cheers, man. Skål.
Cheers.
Skål.
Hey, thank you all so much for listening right to the end. You know that I love and appreciate that. I had such a good chat with Øystein, such a creative force. I love how they are selective when it comes to touring, when it comes to releasing stuff. I love the passion that they have. So massive shout out to him and the rest of the Borknagar crew. I can't wait for Devastation On The Nation 2021 to roll through so that we can hang out and drink a beer face to face for real. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope that you get outside. I hope that you have fun with your families and your friends. Find a way to connect. It's still important to be connected in this crazy world that we live in. I believe in you. I'm here for you. I'll be back next week with 3 more episodes, one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and another one on Friday. But until then, remember to enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. Cheers, Vox and Hops heads.